All right, YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Emma. I'll be guiding you through class today. Let's go ahead and get started in a standing forward fold near the front of your mat. Now feel free to bend your knees. You're always welcome to bend your knees in a fold, but especially when we start here, and especially if it's morning time, you're likely feeling a little bit more tight than later in the day. Always feel free to grab props, put the blocks under your hands. You could grab your elbows or just let the arms hang heavy. I want you to bend your knees so much that your belly kind of rests on your thighs. So you're taking some rounding out of your lower back. And then notice if you're still putting effort into your neck and trying to hold your head up at all, let that go completely. Give me a nice deep breath in through your nose. Try to breathe all the way up into the low back, kind of behind the kidneys. Open your mouth, audible exhale. Again, deep breath in. Exhale. You might notice this little natural lift of your chest as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, squeezing your belly, pushing the air out, maybe a little bit more fold. Take two more. Last one. Release your arms, let them be totally heavy, and then switch so the opposite arm is on top. And now find a gentle sway, a ragdoll side to side, maybe drawing some figure eights with the elbows. Feel free to bend and straighten into the legs, bounce your chest up and down, shake your head out. It doesn't really need to have any rhyme or reason. Release your arms. Let's walk the hands over to the right. I like to prop up on the fingertips and bend the right knee pretty deeply. Make sure those right toes don't turn out. They're still pointing forward. Pull the left hip crease back. Take your left hand, grab your outer right ankle. Now bend your left knee and send your right arm up. Twist. You might like to look up at your right hand, make a fist and roll out your wrist. Take that right arm on top, grab the left ankle and pull. Think about dropping the head as much as you can. The arms are a little bit in the way, but you're kind of pulling with the arms, tipping your weight forward. And then release the arms, walk the hands over to the left, put a little bend in the left knee. Try not to turn the left toes out, pull your right hip crease back. You should feel a stretch from the right pinky finger all the way down to the right hip. Take your right hand, grab your left ankle. Now bend your right knee, straighten your left leg, reach your left arm up. Roll out your left wrist. And then take that left hand, grab the right ankle. Now pull, drop your head, tip your weight a little forward for 3. Squeeze your legs 2. 1, release your arms, lift up halfway. Plant your palms, step back to plank pose. Shoulders directly over the wrists. Find your low belly squeeze. Imagine your hands dragging back, hip points dragging forward. Look forward, take a nice 5, count lower to your belly. Feel free to drop your knees first, don't let your hips sag. 3, hug the elbows in. 2, and 1. Tops of the feet down. Let's take those hands out like 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Prop up onto the finger pads. I like to bring the feet out a little wider as well. As you breathe in, roll your chest up like a wave. As you exhale, drop your right shoulder and look to the left. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, drop your left shoulder and look off to the right. Inhale, lift your chest. 1 more each way. Drop your right shoulder, look to the left. Back through center. Drop your left shoulder, look to the right. Back through center. Lower just your ribs down to the ground. Keep your chest lifted. See if you can lift your legs up here. Point the toes. Don't worry about the legs getting closer together just yet. Let's lift the pinky fingers, ring fingers, middle fingers, pointer fingers, and thumbs so you've got cactus arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, push your pubic bone down. Push your palms into the mat and roll up to cobra pose. Avoid shrugging the shoulders to the ears. You want to spread the collarbones apart. Once again, kind of think about drawing the shoulder blades together. And then if you look back, make sure the heels aren't flopping out, toes in. You want the toes pointing directly back. So the inner thighs almost roll down. Let's find a child's pose. Sink your butt back towards your heels. Feel the sides of your body lengthen. Your forearms lift up off the mat. Again, imagine breathing all the way down into the low back. One more breath here. Maybe you've started to seal your lips and practice Ujjayi breath. Pull yourself through to tabletop. Tuck your toes, find downward facing dog. Take any sort of movement that feels good. That might be a pedal of the legs, dropping the heels side to side, bouncing your chest up and down, making space in the shoulders. Again, notice if you're putting effort into your head and your neck, kind of draw, let the head be totally heavy. Notice if you're dumping into your low back or shoulders, think long sides, pull the bottom ribs in. And breathe with purpose. Lift your heels, bend your knees, push your belly to your thighs. Look forward, roll, ripple yourself forward to plank pose. Lower all the way down to your belly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tops of the feet down, hands out 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Inhale, roll chest up. Exhale, right shoulder down, look to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, left shoulder down, look to the right. Inhale up. Exhale, bottom ribs down. Slide your hands in line with your shoulders, roll yourself up, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Just keep the knees where they are, don't bring them out wider. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, ripple, roll yourself forward, plank. Exhale, lower all the way to your belly. Hands out, tops of the feet down. Inhale, roll up. Right shoulder down, exhale. Inhale up. Left shoulder down, exhale. Inhale up. Bottom ribs down. Plant your palms. Cobra, breath in. Child's pose, breath out. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Look forward. This time, step or jump to the front of your mat. Lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Rise all the way up to stand, reach up, lean back. Exhale, bend your knees and go right back down. Lift up halfway, take a breath in. Plant your hands, step back or jump back if you're ready. Lower halfway, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just 2 breaths here. Not rushing the breath. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward, step or jump to the front of your mat, lift up halfway, fold forward. Rise, reach up, lean back a bit, light toes, bend your knees and fold over your legs. Lift up halfway, step back, or if you're ready, jump back, lower halfway with or without the knees, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, up dog, spread your collarbones. Exhale, downward facing dog for 2 breaths. Press down with the base of your thumb and your pointer finger. Reach, extend your arms. Lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front. Halfway lift, fold. Come all the way up, big reach. Bend your knees and fold over your legs. Halfway lift. Step back or jump back. Lower on your exhale. Inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. One more breath. Look forward, step or jump to the front. Halfway lift, fold. Come all the way up, reach your arms. Let's go right hand to the right hips. Left arm reach up and over. Use the right hand to kind of push your hips to the left. Option to step that left foot behind, kind of off the mat to the right. And then the right hand still pushing, hips to the left. Breathe all the way down your left side. Come back through center, palms touch, feet touch. Left hand to the left hip, right arm reach up and over. Push your hips to the right. Option to step the right foot kind of behind and off the mat to the left. Keep using the left hand to bump the hips to the right. Come back through center, feet touch, palms touch. Make a bind behind your back. Lift your chest, nudge your hips forward like you're scooping the tailbone underneath you. Bend your knees and fold over your legs. Crawl your ribs down your thighs. Just like in the beginning, use the inhales to feel a little more length through your sides. Exhale, fold more. Release your hands. Feel free to keep the feet together for Malasana or step the feet wide for a yogi squat. Yogi squat, the toes will turn out. Elbows inside, pushing the knees out. Malasana, feet stay together, knees go wide. Drop down to the forearms to start. If that's going well, you can walk the hands back underneath you with the palms facing up. Maybe grabbing onto the heels. Use your triceps to push the shins back. Think about sinking the heels down, pulling your chest through. Hug the knees in for 3, 2. From either yogi squat or malasana, drop your butt to the ground. Extend your legs in front of you, navasana, boat pose. Parallel your shins with the mat or straighten your legs, but either way, try not to round your back. So push the low back in, zip up the legs, plug the shoulders back for 3, 2, 1, low boat, lower your low back to the mat. Keep your legs floating, arms floating. If you want more, extend your arms overhead. No space between the mat and the low back for 3. Pull the bottom ribs down, 2, and 1. Totally relax onto your back. Take a nice big inhale, stretch. Exhale, arms by your side, knees bend, feet flat. Scoop your tailbone towards the front of your mat and lift your hips, bridge pose. Push down a little bit through the balls of your feet so you feel your inner thighs engage. Let the rib cage soften down. Scoop your tailbone forward. Last 2. Last 1. Articulate your spine. Lower yourself down. Draw your knees into your chest and grab the backs of your legs. Take 3 rocks up and down your spine. Your last one, gain some momentum. We're gonna meet in Utkatasana, chair pose, feet flat, knees bent, arms up. Feel free to separate the feet. We'll be here for 5. Bring your knees back, shins back, 4. Sit your butt a little bit more, 3. Can you turn the pinkies in, 2. And 1, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step just your left foot back. Find runner's lunge. Shift your hips forwards and backwards a few times, or bend and straighten your legs to wake up your right hamstring and your left hip flexor. We'll pause with the right leg straight or straighter. Get really high on your back toes. Your front foot can be flat or flexed, but either way, try to plug the right hip back and roll the left hip forward. See if you can keep your left fingertips down. Reach your right arm directly out to the right, and then maybe turning your chest open like a revolved triangle, but your back heel is off the mat, so it's a little bit easier on the hips. Right hand down, drop your back knee, and reach up, Anjaneyasana B. Reach up from your sides, but relax your shoulders. Press down with the top of your left foot and toenails. Take a breath in. As you exhale, twist open to the right. Left arm reach forward, right arm reach back. Reach your arms away from each other. Keep sinking into your right heel. Let your right hand find your left hamstring. Reach your left arm up. Now you can square your chest to the front and look up. You can also keep your chest kind of twisting to the right and look down. Two kind of different sensations. Take a breath in. As you exhale, put this left hand down on the ground, tuck your back toes and lift your left knee. Send your right arm directly up towards the ceiling and then level out your hips. So the right hip has to sink and go back. Make the left leg straighter than you thought possible. Look up at your right thumb for 3, 2, 1. Look down, roll to the outer edge of your left foot, step back, side plank, right foot on top of left foot. Feel free to drop down bottom knee, bottom forearm. Think more space between the mat and your outer left hip. Then can you roll your right hip forward, just a tad. Let's go right hand down, plank pose. Shift your weight forward, lower halfway and hold 5. Hug the elbows in 4, 3, 2, 1. Press back up, plank like a push-up, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Lift your right leg up, bend your knee and stack your hips. Kick your right heel to your butt a few times. Then circle out the right hip without letting the left leg move. Square your hips and crunch right knee over to the left elbow. Send your right leg up and back. Right knee to the right elbow or tricep. Right leg up and back. Right knee to nose, hold. More space between the mat and your right shin. Hug your heel to your butt. Softly step forward, bump your hands forward, standing L pose, throw the left leg up behind you. Take an inhale. Exhale, step your left foot behind your right foot, cross your ankles and fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up. Right hand to the right hip, push your hips to the left, reach that left arm up and over. Inhale, back through center, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold, send that left leg back behind you, standing L. Feet together, halfway lift. Fold. Take a long step back with your right foot. Shift your hips forwards, backwards, or bounce the hips a few times. Just to wake up that left hamstring and the right hip flexor. Pause with your left leg straight or straighter. Stay high on your back toes. Feel like you're zipping the inner thighs up towards each other. Stay here with the left foot flat or flexed, and then we'll go both hands down or just the right hand down. Reach the left arm out to the left to start. Keep your pelvis level as you turn your chest open. Maybe looking up to the left thumb, stay high on the back toes. Keep pushing that right hip forward and up for 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand down, drop your back knee, Anjaneyasana B, reach both arms up. Press down with the top of your right foot. Again, feel that little zip up of the inner thighs. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist open to your left. Reach your hands away from each other. Squeeze your right glute for stability. And then let your left hand find your right hamstring. Now, the right arm reaches up and you can either square your chest forward and look up, or kind of keep that twist to the left and look down off the left side of your mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, right hand down, tuck your right toes, pop your right knee off the mat. Reach your left arm directly up and then level out your pelvis. Avoid dumping into the right hand. Stay strong through your shoulder. Make your back leg a little bit straighter. And then roll to the outside edge of your right foot. Step back, side plank. Feel free again to drop the forearm or the bottom knee. There is no variation that is better or worse than another. Just do what works for you. Steady your breath. Left hand down, plank pose. Shift forward, lower halfway, hold 5. Tone your belly, squeeze your legs, 4, 3, 2. Push your palms through your mat, plank pose to down dog like a push-up. Take a breath in. Exhale. Lift your left leg up behind you. Bend your knees, stack your hips, kick your heel to your butt a few times. Push evenly into your palms. And then circle out your left hip without moving the right leg too much. Square off your hips, crunch your left knee to your right elbow. Left leg up. Left knee, left elbow or tricep. Left leg up. Left knee nose, hold 3. More space between the mat and your left shin, 2. Softly step forward, bump those hands forward, standing L pose. Flex your right foot, take an inhale. Exhale, right foot behind left foot, cross the ankles. Inhale, rise, reach up. Left hand to the left hip, right arm reach up and over, push your hips to the right. Inhale, back through center. As you dive your hands down, send that right leg back behind you, standing L. Feet together, halfway lift. Fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up. Cactus, bend your arms, curl back, scoop your tailbone. Lift your chest. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Malasana. If you need another yogi squat, go for it, but we're gonna try Malasana this time. Feet together, knees wide. Drop down to the forearms to start. If this is going well, you can reach back for the heels. You're using your triceps to kind of push the shins back, and then you're sinking the weight back into the heels. The goal is to get the feet flat on the ground, and then keep the big toes kissing. Pull your chest through, and then drop your head. Think about hugging the knees in. Simultaneously, the arms are pushing the shins back for 3. So you're kind of creating your own resistance in the pose, 2. And 1, release that, drop down to your butt once again, Navasana, boat pose. Maybe you straighten the legs this time, 5, 4, 3, 2, low boat, 1, extend the arms overhead, glue your low back to the ground, 5, pull the belly button down, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, 1, relax, big stretch, draw your knees in. Put your feet flat, scoop your tailbone, and lift your hips up. Bridge pose. All right, from here, I want you to keep your right foot on the mat, extend your left leg up. Try to keep your pelvis level. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower your left leg and hover it off the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. It's kind of like a Pilates move. Stay strong with your right leg. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Keep your left leg up as you lower your hips to the ground. Now, I want you to keep your left leg straight and your right knee bent. You're gonna rock back and up to a seat. This left leg stays straight, right knee stays bent. You might want a little bit more space between the right foot and the left thigh. Reach your arms up, dive a little to the left, inside, and try to grab your left foot. You might stay here, or you might imagine doing a big breaststroke, pushing your right shin back, kind of like we do in Malasana. Make sure the thumbs are down if you're going for a bind, left arm wrapping behind. Fold over your left leg and hug the right knee in. Flex your left toes and breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Release that. As you come up, keep your legs as they are. Take your left hand behind you, point your fingers towards the back of the mat. You're gonna turn your left toes to the left as you lift your hips up into a wild thing. You may need to drag that left foot a little bit back towards you. Your left shoulder should be stacked over your left wrist. Look down at your left hand or up at your right hand for 3, for 2. And then like you're coming out of wild thing, I want you to lift your right toes off the mat. Slow, step it around, right foot forward towards the left hand. Bump both hands forward into standing L pose. Flex your left foot. This time, keep your left hand down. Let's bend both knees. Tap your left knee to your right calf. Reach your right arm out to the right. So you're in kind of the Shiva stance. As you inhale, I want you to extend both legs and open your chest to the right into revolving half moon pose for 3. Flex your left toes, 2, and 1. Right hand down, Shiva squat. Tap your left knee to your right calf. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Pull your left knee into your chest. So you're balancing on your right leg. Take a breath in. As you exhale, grab a figure 4 pose and sweep your arms back. Flex your left toes. You can keep the arms just reaching back, or you can bind the hands back behind you. Can you bump your right hip a little bit to the left? If you've got a bind, maybe you try to keep it. Keep the bend in your knees as you unravel your left leg. We're going into half moon pose, maybe with a bind. It's really challenging. Keep your gaze on one unmoving spot. Feel free to put your right hand down to a mat or a block. Flex your left foot. Pull the bottom ribs in, belly button back for 3, for 2. Slowly start to bend your right knee. Take a step back, goddess pose. You're facing the long edge of your mat. You might need to adjust your feet. Release the bind if you still have it and bring your hands to your heart. Scoop your tailbone and sink it down. Breathe. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise, straight legs. Turn your toes in and fold forward. Feel free to shorten or widen the stance and squeeze the legs. Tip your weight a little forward without gripping into the toes. Get around to the back of your mat and drop your back knee. Half splits, flex your right toes. You can keep your back toes tucked or untucked, depending what feels best for your knee, but I just want your pelvis level. So the right hip crease pulling back, left hip crease going forward. From here, rebend your right knee, tuck your left toes, lift your left knee up off of the ground. Let's send both arms up to a high lunge crescent warrior. Feel free to keep a little bend in your back knee. Take a breath in. As you exhale, twist open to your right. Now, I want you to see if you can straighten both legs, keep this twist. Then, kind of like we did in the beginning, that like long, awkward pyramid stance, your right hand will find your left hamstring. See if you can reach your left arm up, up, up with straight legs. Squeeze your legs. Big inhale. As you exhale, bend your right knee. Left hand goes down. Roll to the outside edge of your left foot. Slowly flip it around, wild thing. Step your right foot behind you. Push in behind your heart. And then we're coming back the same way we got into this sequence. Start to lower your butt down, your left leg is straight. Put your right foot outside of your left thigh, you're facing the front of your mat, and we're taking a twist to the right. Hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh, flex your left toes. Look back over your right shoulder and breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Counter pose, twist to the left, little dip down like a push-up. Push yourself back up. Unravel right foot on the outside of the right leg. You're gonna lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Bend your left knee, put your left foot on the mat. Lift your hips up, bridge pose. Yeah, this is the weirdest sequence you've probably ever done. Same. Let's go ahead and extend the right leg up. Take an inhale. Keep your left glute, left leg firm, and then lower right leg so it's hovering off the mat. Should be challenging. Inhale up. Exhale, lower, hover. Inhale up. Exhale, hover. Last two. Right leg up. Hover. Right leg up. Slow, lower your hips down. Keep your right leg straight and your left knee bent. Rock yourself back and up. Seated. Make sure you have some space between your left foot and your right thigh, at least one fist. Reach your arms up, kind of dive your torso to the right and reach for your right foot. If that's going well, imagine doing a big breaststroke, thumbs down, and then reaching back for the bind. Fold over your right leg, think nose to knee, nose to shin. Keep hugging the left knee in and flex your right toes. Draw your belly button back, last two. Last one. Lift your torso, release your bind. Your right hand goes behind you, fingers pointing back. Roll to the outer edge of the right foot. You're facing to your right in a wild thing. Make sure the right shoulder's over the wrist. Pretty light on those back left toes. And then like you'd come out of wild thing, you're gonna lift your left toes off the mat, look at your right hand, step that right foot forward and find a standing L pose. Feel free to adjust your feet. Flex your right foot, inhale. Exhale, tap your right knee to your left calf, bend both knees. Take your left arm directly out to the left. On your next inhale, straighten both legs and open up to the left. Flex your right foot. Keep pushing your left thigh bone back. Revolving half moon pose for 3, for 2, and 1. Shiva squat, hands to the mat, bend both knees. Inhale, rise, come all the way up to stand. Lift your right knee up in front of you with your foot flexed. Try to keep your pelvis level, breathe in. Exhale, figure 4 pose, sweep your arms back. Flex your right toes. Option to make a bind, opposite thumb on top. Can you push your left hip a little bit to the right? And then keep your knees bent, maybe keep the bind. So the knees stay bent while you unravel. Knees stay bent until the hips stack. Then go ahead, maybe work to straighten the legs, half moon pose, with or without that bind. You're still turning, opening your hips, opening your chest. Flex your lifted foot. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. Start to bend your left knee, take a step back, goddess pose. Feel free to adjust your feet. I actually really dislike goddess pose, so we don't do it in most of my classes. Push the knees outwards. Sit a little lower, 3, 2, 1 more breath. Straighten your legs, rise, toes in, fold forward. Feel free to grab feet, ankles, or big toes. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. Release grip, lift up halfway. Walk towards the back of your mat and drop your back knee. Half splits pose, straighten and fold over your left leg. You can keep your back toes tucked or untucked. Just try to level out the hips. Flex your left toes, spread them apart. Rebend your left knee, lift your back knee off the mat and come up to a high lunge crescent A. Feel strong and stable through your legs. Take a breath in. Exhale, twist open to your left. Reach your left arm back, your right arm forward. Now I want you to keep this twist. Straighten both legs. Feel the inner thighs zip up. Now maybe the left hand finds the back of the right hamstring and the right arm reaches up. Should be pretty challenging. Breathe for 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, twisted runner's lunge. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot and slowly step that left foot behind you. Wild thing, round 2 on this side. Push in behind your heart for 3. Make sure right shoulder over right wrist, 2. And then lower your butt to the ground. Right leg is straight. We're gonna put that left foot on the outside of the right leg. Reach your right arm up and then take a twist over to your left. Flex your right toes and look back over your left shoulder. One more breath. Unwind, counter stretch to the right. Little dip down like a push-up. Press yourself back up. Unravel that left foot. Bend your right knee as well. Lie down onto your back. All right, we're not gonna go into bridge pose. We're gonna go into supine figure 4. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. You can definitely keep your left knee on the mat, or you can grab the back of your left leg and pull in towards you. I like to gently rock side to side here. Feel a nice massage on the low back, around the tailbone. Up to you if that feels good or not. Release that grip, slide your right leg over your left leg, Supta Gomukhasana. Grab the ankles or shins and pull the feet away from each other. You can play around with, where the knees are, if they're up towards you or going forwards. Where do you feel more sensation, more of a stretch? You can point or flex the feet. Then release that grip, keep the legs crossed, arms wide. We'll drop the knees over to the left and look off to the right. Begin to unravel your legs, grab a happy baby pose. Feet, ankles, or the backs of the knees, gently pull down. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh, figure 4 pose. Feel free to just stay with the right foot on the mat. Same options as the other side. Keep your left foot flexed and the knee going forward. Release that grip. Cross your left leg over your right leg. Supta Gomukhasana. Imagine pulling the feet away from each other. Feet, again, flex, pointed. You kind of have to play around with how this works for you. It might be different than the other side. Release that grip. Keep your legs crossed and your arms wide. Drop your knees over to the right and look off to the left. Bring your knees back through center, unravel your legs. Let's just go legs up, waterfall pose. If you would prefer shoulder stand, plow, ear pressure pose, any of those, or another happy baby. Obviously, you're more than welcome to take your practice as you please. And let your spine feel heavy and supported. When you're ready, draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Thank yourself for your effort, your awareness, and your attention. And when you're ready, go ahead and extend your legs. Let the toes flop outwards. Slide the shoulder blades so they're flat underneath you and totally relax your body. This might take a few breaths to feel like you are sinking or melting into the mat, so take your time. Relax the muscles in your face. Let the breath be comfortable, not forced. If the mind bounces around, different thoughts, different parts of the body, just acknowledge that and gently coming back to an anchor. So I like to use the breath as an anchor. Again, not controlling the breath, just observing the breath. Some people might like to use a phrase, a mantra, a word as an anchor as well. Take rest. Do your best to be present. Savasana. Slowly bring your awareness back. Fingers, toes, sensation of the breath. When you're ready, stretch your arms overhead, point your toes. Feel rejuvenated, refreshed. Maybe a renewed sense of energy. Hug your knees in and roll to your right or left side. Make your way up to seated. I know many times when I feel like I'm out in Shavasana, that's, it's not tempting to get out. You want to just lie there. Once you do make your way out, you do end up feeling pretty refreshed and revitalized. So bring your hands to your heart center, taking whatever you need off of the mat with you and leaving the rest. Deep breath in. Exhale. Om Shanti, Om Peace, Namaste. Thank you for tuning into this funky class today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little bit different than what I usually teach. However, when I've posted some mobility-based or funky stuff before, people have liked it. So I hope you enjoyed this one too. Let me know regardless in the comments. I do read and respond to all of them myself, and they do mean a lot to me. So I really, really appreciate your feedback. You can follow me on Instagram at Emma Pigeon Yoga. You can check out my website, emmapigeonyoga.com, for some retreats coming up. I lead an international retreat with my friend Bex every year in Costa Rica in July. So by the time this is out, we'll have just finished that. But if you're interested in coming next year, or to our Sedona retreat this November, that's in Sedona, Arizona. It's just a weekend retreat, women's only. So if you're interested in either of those, make sure you visit my website for some more information. I would love to connect with you further. All right, that's all I've got. I will see you back next week. Thank you so much for tuning in.